Logos can be simple, can be minimalistic, and you can make some of these if you use the tools in Adobe Illustrator to your advantage. So what I'm going to do on this video is kind of take you through some simple things that you can do to make some simple shapes that may color some of the designs that you want to make. So when it comes to logo design, as I've stated before in videos in the past, Adobe Illustrator is where I want to go. You don't have to use Adobe Illustrator, but if you want to make a logo, you want something that uses vector so that you can manipulate the size and you still keep the same quality. So for this video, we'll be using Adobe Illustrator. So with all these different tools, so I'll start with the star tool. Let's say I want to make a logo that is a star. So, you can draw the star, pretty basic thing here. So if you take the star and you start drawing, but if you hold shift, then it keeps it aligned a certain way. If you hold shift, it keeps it aligned a certain way, and you just make the size bigger or smaller. You can make sure that it's going to be the same dimensions, just different size. So holding shift does that. So if you don't hold shift, then, wherever your mouse goes, that's where the star can go. Now, another thing you can do is you can hold shift and option. So now not only are you making a star and you're keeping the dimensions, but instead of the star looking like that, you tap the option on Mac and you have that kind of star, which is more of the traditional star that you're used to. So let's say you make a star. You hold shift and option at the same time. You're making the star. Okay, here's your star. So you click off of that, you move it. What I like to do when I'm doing logos at some point, either at the beginning or the end, depending on the shape and depending on the overall look that I'm going for, I like to make sure it's aligned. So the horizontal line and the vertical line, just to make sure that I'm working with something that is in this dead center of the grid here. So I have this star here. So what I could do is go to the pen tool and click and hold the pen tool. And now I'm using the anchor point tool. Now, the anchor point tool allows you to kind of manipulate these things. So let's say I just want to move this. So see how you can just do whatever you want with this, and kind of looks like a person there. See, and then if I do that and I'm holding shift here, so it's keeping it a certain way. So I don't hold shift, then it's gonna go all wibbly wobbly, vector directory. But if I hold shift, then it kind of smooths that out. So let's Command Z that. So while you have the star here, let's say I want to make another star. So actually hold the shift or the enter, and then I hold option. And then I'm actually clicking the up arrow. So the up arrow increases the number of sides of the star. And then when you click the down arrow, it decreases it. So let's say I'm not holding anything, but just by holding down, pushing the down arrow, I'm decreasing the amount of sides there are there. And if I just hold it without moving it, that's what I can create. So if you notice, holding the option button does that. I release the option button and then I get that. So, and this is like a traditional kind of burst that you would see on certain designs. But this part is just to kind of teach you how just using the simple shapes that are available to you at the start, you're not necessarily having to reinvent the wheel. So with a lot of this, you don't have to try to draw all of this, like draw each one of these by hand or anything. You can just take the star tool and manipulate it however you see fit. So speaking of simple shapes, let's say, okay, it's fall season. What's a sport that's happening a lot in the fall? Football. So let me show you how to create a very, very simple football. So here we have a circle. Regular old circle. I held Shift and Option just so circle would be a true circle. Lining it in the middle just because, I want to. I'm gonna let this one align on the outside. Actually, I'll do the inside. So, okay, so we have a circle here. So you're like, how are we gonna turn this circle into a football? Actually, very easy. So we're gonna go back to this anchor point tool. And all we're gonna do is go to this anchor point and click it. Go to this anchor point and click it. And then you just stretch it, and then boom, you have a football. We realign, and there you have it. Another way you could have done it is just not do a perfect circle, but do more of an oval, but we got to the same conclusion here. So you have the general football shape, and then at that point, you just, however you want to style it. So we add that there. Say we want that to be wider. Copy, Command F to paste in front. And then copy and paste in front. Slide to the left. Easy, breezy, beautiful, cover girl. Like, that's a football. So then you can have each one of these lines be lightning bolts. You can have a line going through it. You can do more lines going down. You can have it upright. You can have it tilted like the Super Bowl, like many different things. But I just wanted to get you to understand how simple you can make things in Adobe Illustrator. I mean, we could even combine this, do a star. Bring the stroke down. Inside. Center that. Bring that down. Use the eyedropper tool. I use the eyedropper tool a lot just to make sure that the weights are the same in certain elements. So if I do this, that's pretty cool right there. Midfield logo there. So then I can take these two, copy, paste in front, like that. Bring that down, and then make sure group these two. Command G, group those two. I tend to group things when I want to align them a certain way, like several elements, but I want them to align a certain way. So, because if I didn't group those just like I did, when I tried to align it, it all aligned to the center. but I don't want them to align to the center individually. I want these to align to the center and these to align to the center. So horizontal align to center, horizontal align to center. Yeah, that's pretty all right there. You can look at a lot of logos in the world and tell what simple shapes put together or placed in a certain manner made them the way they are. I mean, you could even have a line or something here kind of representing the end zones, just making sure that the line goes all the way through, so it kind of covers that up. Make sure the weights are the same. And it also, typically you do this kind of thing for like football, like college football logos, because college football logos you tend to see a little more variance there. Yeah. So yeah, and that's just off the top. I didn't even sketch anything out beforehand, but yeah, just simple shapes, combining a certain type of star, just taking the circle or the oval, making a football shape, placing some lines in strategic areas, and then boom, there you go. Next up, how do you make a heart in Adobe Illustrator? Very easily. And it gives you a variance on what type of heart you want to make based on the elements that come together to make it. Let me show you. So to make a heart, you're going to need the rectangle tool and you're going to need the ellipse tool. So holding Shift and Option, drawing a circle. I don't need this to be that just yet. So let me do this. Also, when I tend to make shapes, I'll hold Shift and Option and start at a intersection, just so I can know what size I'm working with in relation to everything else. So you have the circle, and then we're going to do a rectangle here. So we have this here. So what we're going to do is we are going to rotate. So we're actually going to rotate it 90 degrees here. And we're going to hit copy, because we don't want to have just the rotated one. We want our original and the copy of it just rotated a negative 90 degrees. We're going to copy, and now we have both of those. And we're going to move this down here. If you can see what I'm getting at by now, you're one smart cookie. Because now we highlight everything and we rotate it 45 degrees. And guess what? There's your heart. Easy breezy. Beautiful. Cover girl. So with the heart, depending on how long you make your circle and rectangle, how long you make your rectangle will determine various things about the heart. So you can manipulate that and play with it as much as you want, but a heart made with circles and rectangles. Like, it's astonishing how many things, if you really think about it, can be broken down into shapes. I actually used shapes to make an illustration for Kang the Conqueror, which he was revealed to be in the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania trailer. So I got inspired and I made that. When I'm making a portrait logo or a portrait illustration, I will take a picture and then I will draw on top of the picture using shapes, and then bring the shapes together because I like things symmetrical. So I'll draw the face on one side and then flip it over. So here's an example of what I did on the Kang the Conqueror illustration. gonna do it for this video. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Let me know in the comment section down below what other lessons or tips and tricks would you want me to cover when it comes to Adobe Illustrator, logo design? What questions would you want me to answer? Let me know in the comment section down below. And remember, as you go along in life, teach as you learn and inspire as you do. See y'all next time.